What is purpose? Why do we all have this desire to discover it? Is it important? Does everyone have one? How do you find it? How I see it, purpose could be many different things with many different definitions. Welcome to another episode of We Just Talking.
All right, everybody. We just talking. My name is Justin De Guz. I'm gonna actually let everybody else introduce themselves.
What's up, y'all? I'm Effortlessly Erika, your favorite mindset coach and lifestyle strategist.
I'm Erika, the Ganjagawdess or the Goddess, and I am a cannabis podcaster.
Yes.
I love it. I'm Counselor Charli, and that's Charli without the E, and I am a clinical sex therapist.
Yes.
Well, I'm Justin. I'm a creative director, man of many hats and talents, and I love my people. I love what I see. There's a very good energy in here. We're taking over Taquan's. We just talking. And I text Erica and was like, "Yo, Erica." I ain't say yo, but I was like, "Yo, what do you want to talk about?" And you picked
Purpose. Yes.
Purpose. What kind of purpose?
What is your purpose?
So, like, purpose in the sense of, like, existential purpose or, like, career purpose? Like, are we talking purpose in being or purpose in career?
Do you look at your purpose and career as your purpose in being?
Ooh.
Is that connected? And if it's not, should it be?
I think that's one you can answer because we just got done talking about it.
I think it can be all in one. I'm just gonna say with my purpose. So since I was young, I've been helping people from little to small. I started off in the church doing like ministry work, but I really found my purpose when a young child came up to me and said, "You don't remember who I am?" And the child said, "You used to act in the church and you used to make me laugh." I did a lot of acting, and I used to raise money for the church for us to go to missionary trips and stuff. And I was like, "Yeah, I don't even know who you are," but she was like, "Yo, you changed my life." And I said, "How?" She just said something. I don't remember exact words, and she just said, "You was just always yourself," and it taught me to be myself. And from there, I kind of just knew, like, all right, let's keep going.
So you would say that yours is intertwined.
Yeah.
I feel like purpose evolves. I feel like purpose, like for me, definitely what I have to do for a living and who I have to be as in being, 1000% they are the same. I couldn't separate them even if I wanted to. But I think what's interesting is that over time, even now, still today, my purpose keeps evolving. For years, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, right? And I thought my purpose was to use my gift to gab to help people who can't help themselves, right? And then I'm like, no. Then I'm like, my purpose is a life coach. And I'm like, okay, I'll be a life coach. Then I did life coaching for some years, and I realized, like, I can't help these people as much as I want to because they have a lot of trauma that they need to unpack. And now here I am, a therapist, right? And now I realize that I don't love one-on-one therapy. I like the educational aspect. So I like to do, like, psychoeducation workshops, seminars, podcasts. I like to go online and have people join, and we pick a certain intervention, or we pick a certain theme or a certain theory, and I really go in depth about what it is, and that's what I enjoy the most, and that's how I help people, and that's how I find purpose.
I love that. That's beautiful, and I'm glad that you took the conversation there because I feel like people spend all of their life trying to find their purpose, right? Like, I'm looking for my purpose. I'm trying to find it, but that's not a real thing.
No.
And that's the message that I want to bring to the table.
Ooh, come
I
on.
want people to know that finding your purpose is not real. You just
Ooh,
live every
come
day
on.
and you give the best impact that you can. And then when you look back over time, you can see what impact you had and see what your purpose of being here was in life, you know? It might be that you're always helping your neighbor. She's elderly. You're always helping her. You bring in the gifts. You bring in her groceries. You're always there to be by her side. And when you look back, she's about to pass away and she tells you, "You were always there for me. I appreciated you so much." And now here you go. You're about to open a damn elderly home. Like, you don't know where life is going to take you because every day something changes. You don't know you were going to come into that money that was going to let you open that elderly home. You can't spend every day wondering, what's my thing? What is it? You have to just live in the moment of today and allow it to come out.
It's kind of crazy because I don't know if y'all know, when y'all follow her, she's the GOAT when it comes to social media. To me, she's my favorite. Like, she knows what she's doing, and a lot of people don't see what I see. She's doing something that they don't realize is going on. But you said something today. Is like, you was like, you said something about like, y'all want to be on IG, but all y'all gotta do is just be yourselves.
That's it.
And I think that's when that child came up to me. It really was God telling me.
It ignited that for you. Yeah.
Just keep being yourself. And I feel like that's what I do. I just make sure I always make sure I make a connection with somebody, and I be myself at all times.
What tools do you use to recognize who you are? How do you know when you're being yourself and not being yourself?
Honesty. I always tell them, yo, I know you're doing this right now, but I really see you doing this. I think that could take you really far. I think the other one is being a real supportive. That's one of my tools. And when you tell me something like, yo, man, I really want to do this, I pull up with the equipment and you said you want to do this, let's do this. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna pull your card all the time.
But at what point do you not externalize your tools? At what point do you engage in introspection? At what point, like, do you lay down at night or in the morning during the day you're doing a workout and you say to yourself, this is me or this is not me? Or because what we don't realize is when you step out into society, there's a bunch of stimuli, nothing but external factors that you're surrounded by that contribute and inform how you show up when you don't really know who you are. So how do you make sure throughout all of that you're staying true to you and your purpose?
So it's kind of funny because my purpose, it always, like, I have like a fail-safe purpose where helping people is anything. Like, it can never fail.
It's multifaceted. You can never run out of ways to help people.
Yeah, there's no way I can be looked at as like ego or self-centered, because for me to be successful, I need to help you be successful, and that's bottom line in anything I do. So
you practice humbleness.
Is it a feeling that you have when you are supporting?
It's a little bit of narcissism in there too, but
like, how do you know that these things are for you? Is it a feeling that you're experiencing when you're doing it, or after you've done it, or before you're doing it?
Because you get to say, like, you get to have that moment, that memory. My boy Lester London, we went from.
I love Lester. Shout out to his music. He's
that's
awesome.
my guy. I don't know if you know, but me and him went in the trenches to get him signed to Atlantic Records.
Wow.
It wasn't about him. I was more excited after he got signed because it was time to work more. But all the memories that we got, me and him can have those conversations. Yo, you remember eating dollar-sized pizzas and they over there eating $1,000 worth of food? But we grinding, and that's that. We got the same sneakers as them. Like, they're no different than us. And now me and him have that relationship where there is. I don't care if we broke, we still got that memory. Like, yo, we did that. Yeah, we did that. Like, that's for me. Is this more so like also taking an idea from somebody's head and being the one to be able to help.
That's my shit right there.
I love that.
I love bringing an idea to life.
Oh, you got this idea? Oh, I got
this.
Yo,
my friends know, don't even bring up no idea around Erika unless you're ready to pull the trigger.
But
right.
Because now I'm on your heels. Now I'm like, yo, you on some bump shit. We could be billionaires already.
Yeah,
like, why are we not doing that?
Because you want to know what the reality is. None of our thoughts are original. Like the same way you had that thought, if you don't act on it, yes, if it's for you, it's for you. However, we do let our blessings pass us by sometimes.
Momentum been a theme for
yes, and if you know, like, if you don't do it and you have the idea, trust and believe that same idea is going into 100.
Yo, blessings is like a domino effect.
Yes,
you really got to hit that momentum because your blessing came, you missed it. Now it's no other bus coming tonight.
Yes,
nothing else coming. But if you catch that one, you're on a roll. You're going to where you need to go. And I had to realize that. It was a lot of trains I missed because I was just bullshitting, you know? Like, I was just taking too long in the crib. Now I'm like, no, I can't do that no more. Like, not even too long ago, somebody came over to me and they was like, yo, I want to talk to you. Like, I think you're amazing. I think you're doing great things, but you really taking what God is giving you for granted. And I don't feel that. I see people wishing they could do the stuff that you could do, and you acting like it ain't nothing.
Yep.
I was like, oh, God.
But you want to know why?
Right.
But I always tell people, this is something I always, and don't quote me, I believe I made it up. I don't know if anyone else said it, but I may have subconsciously heard it somewhere. So don't, hold it to me. But I always tell people, you have two different types of people. You have people that stop, smell their roses, and then go on to the next flower. And then you have people that stop, smell their roses, and by the time they get up to go to the next flower, their roses are dead. And you have people that will sit and they'll say, oh, well, sometimes you just got to stop and smell the roses and hold on to that accomplishment. But you have some people that get one accomplishment and they're fearful that they may never get another, and they let every other opportunity pass them by. And by the time they pick their head up, their roses are dead and gone.
I'm the third person, the 10% narcissist that you were speaking to, where I'm like, hey, man, I know for sure I read all the research on growing this shit. I won't have no problem. I'm going to dump them all in the dirt. I'm going to come back when I feel like it and smell them if I want to. If not, let the kids enjoy the garden. Like, I'm like, I want to take every opportunity God gives me, and I'm going to be amazing at everything because I embody God. So, of course, I'm amazing at everything. Why wouldn't I be? And I think it was just I'm not living in a humble space enough, like when it comes to my purpose.
But do you have to be humble? Go ahead.
I was about to say, it's actually funny you said that because, like, I had to get to a point within myself, like, with my purpose. Like, I had, like, the tools, but I didn't have the confidence to be like, oh, yeah, is this actually, like, going to work, though? You feel me? So it's like I had to get to that place where it's like, oh, no, I know it's going to work, like, regardless. And even if it don't work, something else going to happen to where it's going to be even greater.
Absolutely.
And it's just going to be a lesson.
Yo, thoughts really become things. Like, that's a main pillar in my coaching. If you don't believe in this, we shouldn't even do this.
Mind over
because
matter.
we're wasting our time. Nothing
matter.
will work around this if you don't believe it. Now, if you believe it, you'll be surprised how the fuck this shit can unfold.
Yes.
And how fast it will.
The way we plan it, it might not come out exactly that way because God he's extreme. He does things how he wants to, but you'll be surprised at how fast this can actually work, how cool it can unfold right in front of your eyes if you just believe in it.
Can I take it a little deeper real quick, a little bit more spiritual real quick? Think about it this way. And you know how you always hear people say, oh, I'm going to fake it till I make it. And I always tell people, I don't believe in faking it until you make it because it's no such thing. I'm literally walking in who I already am just because it hasn't revealed itself yet and you haven't seen it yet, because this is where it's about to get deep. And a lot of people don't want to have this conversation. We talk about no matter what God you believe in, if you believe in a God, then you believe he's omnipotent. And if you believe he's omnipotent, then that means that he already knows all, he already seen all. So that means that your purpose has already happened.
Yes.
What that you're supposed to do, it's already happened.
Yes.
It just because you haven't walked in it, you haven't, the revelation isn't there yet, but it's already happened.
Yes.
You're just not sitting in it.
Child, for me, I hear that so many different ways. Like, I hear the multiverse.
Yes.
You know, like we lived before. This is all fake.
Yes.
We're not even here. We're just people, like spirits in these beings, and it's already a story, and we just a part of it, right? But I also feel like when I take God out of it, because I like to do that too, I like to involve my life with different avenues. When I look at my human design, when I look at my astrological chart, when I look at my birth chart, all these things are still telling me the same thing. So I'm trying to figure out, what is it? What is the path?
Who is it?
What the fuck is going on? And I'm like a conspiracy theorist, you know? So I'm one of the people, I'm like, you know what? There's no way it could be this square that they telling us, because nothing that they ever told us was the truth. So something over here got to be it. Which one is it? What are we really living in? What is God for real? Because what God is telling me in my spirit, my fucking birth chart is telling me too. How did these numbers in the sky, and this moon, and this planet over here know that I was going to be like this too?
Because it's not just them, it's also your ancestral makeup. It's
What
also
is that?
ancestral magic. It's y'all are probably gonna laugh, but it just is what it is. I have been in so many situations, and this goes back to what you asked him about. How do you know that's you versus how do you know that's not you? And I had a conversation with Taquan about this as well. And it's so simple. When you're in those moments, you've never been in a moment and you recognize that whatever you did or whatever you said was really not you, and you didn't do it out of anger. It just wasn't you. You weren't
I
trying
always
to
say,
fit
I
in.
always say it's God.
Listen,
God's trying to talk to you right
like
now.
it's
know?
been
Yes.
times where I have not literally, I haven't been mad, and I'm sitting there and I'm feeling some type of way about something, and there's been times where I really was like, hold up, oh snap. That's not me.
Yeah.
My ancestors are enraged. I've been in predicaments and not understanding like why I'm feeling some kind of way. And then I get home and do my introspection and do my check-in at night. And I'm like, oh snap. I feel some kind of way because of X, Y, and Z. Why when they said this? And I'm telling you, it's those moments. We sum all these things up. Goosebumps, deja vu. We sum all that up to nothing.
Yes.
Why? Why? That is your body is literally giving you a
Yes.
message.
Yes.
And we ignore it and
Yes.
throw a buzzword on it, and we go about our business not even realizing that's your ancestor trying to speak to
Why
you.
is it your subconscious is speaking to you and not the God energy coming forward?
Because God, your ancestors are an interceder. So your ancestors are not God. Your ancestors are those energies that are not destroyed, that can't be destroyed, that are still there in real time, right? And then what they do, in my opinion, in my life, what I picture is sometimes I feel like God is so big, right? And of course he knows all and sees all, but I think about it like this. The Bible says, even if you don't believe in the Bible, everybody knows that God, technically, we're supposed to be in his image, right? So to me, that means we're somewhat similar. So if that's the case and we're similar, then that means that when I talk to my ancestors, if we similar, there's a lot going on. He got the whole world, the whole universe, right? So a lot of times I talk to my ancestors, my Orishas, and I have them send the message to God for me. They intercede on my behalf. It's kind of like Mulan. When they went in there in Mulan and all of the ancestors were in there and they picked Mushu, and then Mushu had to guide her, but they weren't God.
But how do you connect people to the idea of Orishas and spirits?
I don't. I connect me to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't try to connect
Well,
people
it's
to it.
because it goes back to what y'all was just saying. God can be so big, but God can be also small inside
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
God is within. It's literally that being still with yourself, listening to yourself, to not go in that alleyway. Those are those things that we don't, that intuition that we don't really listen to. And what throws us off? A little too much drink, a little too much smoke.
Especially with things you haven't experienced yet. Those fears of things that it hasn't even happened, but you, like you said, you walk past that alleyway and something is just telling you, don't go down that alleyway. That's your ancestral magic, baby, and everybody is not in touch with it. So maybe for you, it is intuition. Maybe for you, it is a gut feeling. But for me, I have a relationship with my ancestors. I feel them through my
So you
veins.
feeding them, you giving them coffee,
Yes,
you doing all that.
all that.
But and to you, there's no separation between spirituality and these tools.
No.
For me, growing up, I'm still unworking that. Because for me, growing up, like Santeria was not a good thing. That's the devil's work. You know?
Well, Eric, you already know that anything that's of our culture is a negative spin.
Right.
From our hair.
Right,
to our skin,
right.
To our dancing. But they dancing like us. They eating like
Yeah.
us. They want to swag like us. To me, that's always been like a weird. It's always, since I was in high school, middle school, is like, why everything that I do is a problem.
Yeah.
And I
Always
realized
felt like that.
Hold
Always.
on, educational moment. What? I know what brujeria is. What is Santeria?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
So like brujeria is maybe like a Dominican say that, but a Puerto
all right.
Rican to say
I got
Santeria, you know?
Yep. I got you. Thank you, because I didn't know that.
But it's the same. It's all the same thing because
Yeah.
now I talk to my girlfriends who are African American and they explain it to me about the Orishas and the whole, you know, from Africa.
Yes.
But you talk to one person that's from Cuba, you talk to another person that's from Africa, you talk to somebody else, it's not a good thing. You talk to somebody else, it's everything. Some people separated from God. Some people it's a tool to talk to God. Are you explaining to me?
You know what that is, though, right? One thing that this all has in common, those things don't become not good things until they're Americanized.
Right.
Because those, if you go to those countries and you go deep to, if you still go to Africa or Dominican Republic and you go deep to where the culture is, ain't nobody gonna look twice.
Yeah.
It's because we're in America, and you have to find a way to demonize things and make things seem bad that you're not a part of. Non-people of color don't have that
Crazy.
culture.
Right.
Because perspective plays so much. How something as weed was not too long ago bad, but now it's perspective.
Crazy.
We change the perspective on things, and we don't realize what it can do. Like, there's so many things of like certain ways to heal, certain ways to eat herbs, but we were told that it's not corny, but we need to eat dairy, we need to do this, we need to do that. Now it's separating us from actually what we need to be doing that could be our purpose as a
Now dairy's bad for you.
Are you a vegan?
Right.
Eggs, dairy, everything's bad for you now.
So, no, I am not, because of my memory with food, that I get caught in the room, and it's still me. I got to do work, but I'm eating chicken now because I miss it.
No, it's probably something going on in the stars, because my girlfriend, who's been a vegan since I've ever known her, is now back to eating meat too.
I just
Seeing my girlfriends, some of them is like witchy into that stuff. Other is like astrology crazy. So I'm like, oh, so the moon is in Cancer, so people are eating this instead, and this and the third. So I'm seeing a pattern.
Yeah.
And people who are vegans that I know to eat raw and to eat clean, I'm seeing a pattern with these people going back to eating meat. Now, is it something wrong that people are going back to eating meat, or is it something that they actually needed to do?
So I'm
wondering that.
I'm gonna speak for myself. So 5-6 years of being vegan, raw vegan, fasting 40 days on water.
God bless you.
Yes.
Just
My
find
son
it.
is a vegan.
Jesus, God bless you.
And I
Yeah,
won't do that
listen,
when
I want my kid to be like you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you on the right path.
yeah,
That is a
that's why I did it
powerful-
from birth, because then
Yeah.
you're not going to miss chicken.
And that's it. So, and what I think is going on, and somebody said there's a retrograde. I heard it like 3 or 4
Yes,
It's a
yes,
Venus
yes.
retrograde
But
going
you saying
on.
6 years you were vegan?
Yeah.
You know, every 7 years you enter a new life cycle. So you probably were at the end of the cells, and they probably were really craving it at this
Yes.
point.
I beat myself up when it comes to like stuff like I go hard when I want to go do something. So
You do.
fasting,
You zone in.
zone super in, to the point after I've done that 40 days of fasting and water, I didn't want to drink water. So it's like I was like juicing it up, eating chicken again, and kind of like rebellious almost. Now that I think about it, am I rebelling?
Yeah.
Why am I? Damn, that's just.
Do you know what that
interesting.
sounds like to me? It sounds like it sounds like your relationship to food is resistant. It sounds like the relationship, like, because you said earlier, you used the word memory. And so the fact that you use the word memory means that you're going off of the past.
Yeah.
And that means that the past is now informing your current relationship with food. And that's why you're having that experience because, go ahead.
My bad. Let me tell you, since it's Venus retrograde, it's actually dealing with like the relationship.
I love me
like,
and stars,
it's
bitch. I love when they start this star shit right here. That shit gets me going. I'm like, yeah, bitch, know them stars.
Yes.
I don't even know
Get
the
into
planets,
it.
but they be like, shit is in the
But-
North Node.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm telling y'all, with the Venus retrograde, it's actually helping you deal with like you said, like so it's like you're remembering what's the word? Like basically traveling back to like basically stuff that you need to have addressed. and-
Revisiting the past.
Yes.
Revisiting the
Yes.
past.
Yep, that's the word I was looking. Thank you so much.
That
But yeah,
resonates with me.
Yeah, like you
that
basically
resonates with me. Today, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm be vulnerable right now. I was going through it today mentally, like feeling heavy, cloudy, like challenging myself. Like, yo, what are you doing? Like everybody think you doing something, but you didn't get to meet the flower stuff that you talk about.
Yeah.
The narcissism. I can have all the roses and smell them and walk away for a second, but I still don't. I feel like I need to do more. I want more, but the more is like I see my people being hurt and I want to do more, but I keep hearing patience. I'm tired of hearing patience.
Are you not enough?
Ah.
And I mean that literally. Like, are you not enough for yourself?
Sometimes that's a really good question, because sometimes I do feel that, and then sometimes I think when I don't get my way,
So are we talking about a control thing here?
You know what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
You know what you're doing?
What did I?
You're revisiting yourself.
Oh.
You're revisiting your self-relationship
And
right now.
I've been doing
And
this
how you
all
have it.
day, though.
And what did I just say
have
earlier?
moments.
And what did
I
I
had
say?
that moment, again, vulnerable. I had that moment last week. Somebody I love and care about got engaged, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your life, Erica? What's going on with you? Where are you at in life? Why are you not where you need to be in the whole nine?
But except you're exactly where you need to be.
And I'm
Except
loving every
you're
minute of my
exactly
life.
where you
So
need
what
to
the
be.
fuck am I even talking about? Like, I literally had to have that moment where I'm like, wait, I used to pray for times like this. So what are you even talking about right now? You're like, I put myself in comparison mode. So now you get to being like, yeah, I'm Justin De Guz and I'm great, but am I Jay-Z yet? Am I like Swizz B yet? Am I making the impact that I see?
Erica, but you know the crazy part, I don't care about none of that.
That's the facade that we learn to put up, but we have expectations for ourselves based on what?
No, honey, call it what it is. It's the silent killer. Comparison is
Comparison.
the silent killer. The
I'm telling
moment
you.
you start talking about what somebody, and it's hard. So you have to be, especially when it comes to your purpose, you have to be intentional about not comparing yourself because
Yes.
we will naturally
Yes.
do it.
I don't compare myself to Jay-Z or none of them. I compare myself to my word that I said I was going to be at 35.
There you go.
And I think that's
But
what
when
it
is
is.
that?
But
When
you
is
also
even
have
his
to
age?
give yourself grace.
I was 35 5 years ago. I'm not even 30 yet. What is even age? Age is fate.
I get it. But I set a goal for myself to want something because I want to see everything that I create while I'm here. And I think I'm fighting with the age thing.
I think
too.
you had to see it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the ability to be invisible, you know,
Right.
like you actually have to see and like we were just talking about, just know that that's what you already walking in there.
And you also have
it's
to know
already
why.
real. It's already here. Even if my building is invisible, I didn't pull the swipe off yet, so it can be seen. It's already here. Right. We have to embody that feeling because if we feel like we are missing something, we will never get it.
Right.
If you feel like it's not here yet, it will never come. And that's what I've had to realize. Like, I'm always waiting on my time. I'm like, bitch, every time you wake up and say today's your day, it's your day.
Yes.
So are you waiting on your time or are you bullshitting around? Just yesterday, I was asking on Instagram Live, is it procrastination or is it bullshitting? People dress procrastination up like it's cute. But it's just really the proper way to say bullshitting. You're a bullshitter. You procrastinating. You're a bullshitter. Oh, I just procrastinated. Oh, I just bullshitted. It's the same thing. You holding on to ideas when you need to move with the momentum. Because as soon as spirit puts it on you, you put all the tools around you to make it happen too. But that's what happened. We sitting in the house with our feet crossed, missing the train. So now the train is not here no more. It's not coming for the rest of the night. And now you feeling like you ain't doing something. You know what I mean?
But what do you say to the person who needs the pressure? The people who do procrastinate because when they don't, their work is mediocre, and when they wait to the last minute and that pressure is applied,
That's
they get
not
phenomenal work.
procrastination.
So what is
we
that?
all have different human designs.
Yes.
That's why we had to look into who we are as a person
But
and really
society
learn
sees
ourselves.
that as procrastination, waiting to the last
But
minute.
you can't care what other people say. If your work shows that when you wait till last minute you perform at excellence,
It's not procrastination.
that's your style. That's not procrastination.
That's
if
me.
you know that when you procrastinate, when you bullshit around, you end up with low grade quality
Yes.
work, then you're procrastinating.
Yep.
But this is why word and language gets
It's
so funny and
important,
why you
and it's
can't
important.
compare.
Nope.
Because with Charlie without an E can do, Erica with the K can.
Okay.
I cannot wait till last minute. You know, I have to plan my production to the T. Everything that I do weeks ahead of time because if not, it won't even cross my mind. I won't
Same.
even think about it.
Same.
But I got friends that you can hit them with something today and they can make it work. I
Same.
don't operate that way. I need time to marinate on shit. It's a part of my human design. I'm a manifesting generator. I'm a Leo. I'm a Pisces. I'm a Cancer. This is the way that I operate as a human being. When we get into those details about ourselves, I think that's when you can learn. Are you procrastinating or is this your workflow? You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And I love that you use the word workflow because for those that are listening to this and don't know, a workflow means that something is streamlined.
Yes.
And so when something is streamlined, that's your process.
Yes.
And so you can't tell someone that they're procrastinating if their process works.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it might
Yes.
not work for you,
But
but
it
it
works
works for me. You
So,
know what
for
I'm saying?
example, I know people like I feel like you are an initiator, right? Like somebody has an idea and you are an initiator. I'm not the initiator. I hone into your idea and I develop it and then I give it back to you to initiate. You know?
Yeah.
So you can tell me that you want to host a podcast. I can give you all the details on how to create a podcast. I can tell you how to run your pilot episode, how to front out your whole entire season, themes of your show, people you can have on it, and the whole nine. But then when it comes to me starting a podcast, that's not where my energy lies at. And according to my human design, it makes sense. Like, I'm a reactor. So you give me and I give back. I'm not an initiator. You
Good
get what
for
I'm
you
saying?
knowing that about yourself, though. You know how many people don't know that?
This is late. I feel late in the game because I'm just learning this in the last, 2 years, 3 years of my life. Ever since I had my son, I've been very meticulous about
What triggered that?
because I didn't know. I had no clue on how to be a mom. I've never had a mom growing up.
And I
I've never
love
had a
that.
father.
And I love that, believe it or not, because so many women are afraid to admit that.
Yeah, I had
you
no
don't just
clue.
automatically, I know so many women who will tell you you don't just automatically have a bond.
Yeah.
As soon as your child come out the womb, you're just a
See,
mother.
but I think even the bond is another layer to
Yes.
parenting. I literally had no clue on how to be a mother.
Hmm.
So whereas you may have had a father in the home or you may have a mother in the home who you can mimic their behavior. This is how my mother treated me. So this is how I knew that she loved me. I never had that. So I had no clue on even how to treat my son to even express love. And then from there, I think that's how you develop the bond, right? So you treat this person a certain way, you see the reaction that they give you and you become committed to that.
And it becomes reciprocal.
I had no clue where to even start at. So from 20 weeks pregnant, when I realized you can't get an abortion, I never had an abortion before, so I was scared. But I knew I should have not got myself in a situation, but I was in a situation now. 20 weeks come, you can no longer do it. I was like, oh, wow. I have 20 weeks to figure out how to be a mom, maybe less. The stress started to come down on me, super, super heavy. And I started to do my research. I'm like, okay, first thing I need to do is unpack trauma. That's what all the signs said. The first thing I need to do is unpack trauma. I'm scared to be a mom because I never had a mom. How has not having a mom made me feel? I never dealt with that. I never went into how my mom was always nearby, but she was never my parent. So I had to dig into how did that make me feel. And then from there, it catapulted. Like it got really bad before it got good to where it is now. And I spent some time in a bad place. And from that bad place, I was able to develop good things. So if I had a suggestion for anybody who is feeling really lost in their life right now, I would say to face the fear head forward. Like just go straight forward and know that it might blow up. This thing might stab you. You might get shot. It might hurt. But something good can come from that because that's the beginning of the unraveling.
But and let me take it a step further. Not even necessarily that something good can come from it. That bad thing that happened to you, we have to learn, like you said, language. We have to learn to reroute our minds. That's actually the good thing because you don't know you're well unless you've been sick before. You don't know you're broke unless you've been rich before. True. And so it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing that these unfortunate things are happening to you because you won't know a blessing unless you know a misfortune.
Yeah, I've been really thinking on that a lot lately. Like on the importance of rewiring our mind.
That shadow work.
And that's what took me on that journey of understanding the 7-year cycle of life. That like every 7 years, all your cell, like a snake, it all comes off. Yep. So I'm like, okay, this is where I was at 7, at 14, at 21. Where am I at in this time in my life? Because it's time again for me, right? It's time again. What does this look like? How am I going to approach this time? And it's scary.
I think that needs to be normalized.
It
7
does.
years. And then also the shadow work needs to be normalized, but also just being, I think I said this before in another, being still. To me, turning everything off and being with yourself and being still is the most powerful thing.
And it looks different
ever.
all the time.
Yep.
I have to tell myself, don't call somebody else. Take this next 20-minute car ride. Just be the fuck quiet.
Yeah.
Just listen to the wheels of the car.
Right.
Because I'm so used to running. I didn't know how to do it. This is new for me. Like I'm actively practicing this right now. I'm running. I talk on the phone for a living with all my clients. I get off. I get on with my girlfriends. I talk to my grandma. I talk to this person. I get no chance to be quiet.
To hear your own voice.
No chance. No chance. I never even get to fucking reflect on all the stuff that's happening because by the end of the day, I'm pooped.
I was about to say, I have a question. Like, how does it feel like now that you're taking that time out and being like, all right, let me be still within that time? What's the difference between when you were like constantly in stimulation and now you take that time out?
Me and well, like in everybody else's view, me and my subconscious are getting closer with each other. But to me, I feel like I'm tapped into my God energy even more. Like I feel like I am awakening my God energy more and more every day. And I'm at a higher space at life than I ever been in. I'm able to identify issues and handle them right. Like I'm sharp as ever.
Right.
I've never been this sharp before.
I love
Right.
this.
I love
it.
And I want to go off of that is when I seen my awakening was my pineal gland was just something was just happening. It was just kept going. I was fasting. It just I don't know. It just felt like it kept bumping and bumping and bumping, and I was coming up with new ideas, and I was revisiting again, refining myself. It's just different when you go and you really in tune with yourself, and not even just listen to the voice, but also listening to your body, feeling out what's going on with your
Emphasis
body.
on listening to your body and take that from a
Yes.
sex therapist. Listen to your
Yo,
body.
stop thinking you're going to hear somebody talking in your fucking head.
Right.
Like wherever the camera is right now, please stop thinking that. That is not how God signals you. Like, dude is not, you're not about to just hear a voice in your head that's like, hey, this is what you need. It's not like seeing a movie.
You can.
I've
You can.
experienced it.
No,
You
you
can.
can.
I've experienced
But
it.
don't expect
to
that.
me,
Yes.
a lot of the voices that
Yes.
you do hear in here is a lot of programming.
But I'm a no.
That's so
yes,
lot of programming.
yes.
People
yes,
don't
but if you-
recognize.
Be able to recognize and weed it
Well,
out.
it's discernment. If you have
Right.
discernment, you can.
Yeah.
Discernment
Yes,
is a theme in my
discernment.
life.
Yes, if
Bring
you
up
have it, you
discernment.
can. And I have a lot of it. So
Mm.
and I've only heard the voice once in my life, and that's how I knew it was God. I've only heard it once.
Yeah.
And it was loud and it was clear. You know how else I knew it was God?
Mm.
Because that was the only time in my life that someone told me to do something, and no matter how hard I tried, I could not resist. I could not fight against it, and I tried. But I was like, I heard it.
It
Like
felt it
clear-
inside you,
I
didn't
felt
you?
somatically. It was so real that until I did what he told me to do, because it was a loud and it was a boisterous voice, and it was the first thing in the morning, like 7 in the morning, and it was like, get out. And I was like, because I had a roommate, so I'm like, I'm wide awake. I'm thinking I'm tripping. It was like, get out. And I'm like, get out. And it's like, it's over. It's done. And I'm hearing this. So now I'm thinking I'm going crazy because I'm hearing it. Like I'm not tripping. Like I'm hearing someone tell me, get out. It's over. It's done. And then I'm like, what? And then literally all I heard was, what did I say? And then I'm like, literally, and this is like I wouldn't even like I'm not a clout person, and I'm sitting in the bed, and I'm like, let me make sure you ain't going crazy, make sure you're not tripping. And then all I heard was, let it go. And 1 minute later, no lie, if I'm lying, I'm dying. 1 minute later, there was a person who texted my phone who was in a group that I was associating myself with heavily, and I knew that it was time for me to leave them alone, but I didn't want to. I refused to, and that was the only time in my life, in 31 years, that I literally, at the time, like 26 or 27 years, that I literally heard what I believe to be the voice of God.
So for me, what thought came to my head is that I have been utilizing the pro tip that the first thing that I hear back, that's God. And I need to listen.
Yes.
So, you be like, oh, yeah, maybe I could work with Justin, but I'm not really sure if that's for me right now. But you know what? I can make it work anyway.
Yeah, right.
No, God just told you it's not
Stop
for
at
you
the
right
first
now,
one. Yeah,
but
it's usually your
stop at
first-
the fucking first one.
Yes.
Like, what is that?
Usually your first answer is it.
What is
Yes.
that? Why do we decide to go against what our first answer is and try to convince us that another answer is better? Why
Because
do we
we're
do that?
programmed to believe from the time that we're born that we're not good enough.
We can't trust
So
ourselves.
you internalize
Right.
that. You can't. And
Crazy.
it seeps so deeply
It's
into
crazy.
your subconscious that you can't fight it. Even when you recognize it's there, I still to this day suffer from imposter phenomena, and I have to remind
Same.
myself walking into certain rooms that I earned this. I deserve to be there. But the fact that I have to remind myself lets me know how deeply it's embedded in my brain.
Two things that I've heard here that I want to bring up. I know that 3 out of 4 of us are normal fasters. Like, it is a part of our lifestyle.
Everyday
Do you
life.
fast too?
No.
Okay. So what is that for y'all? Why do y'all fast? Because I fast too. I usually juice fast throughout the entire day, like you were saying you do too. I usually juice in the morning, juice in the afternoon, and then just eat dinner. So how did fasting come into your life, and why do you use that as a
So
tool?
I'll make it quick and simple. And for me, it's two things. The first thing is my thighs started rubbing. I reached
Talk about it.
220 pounds a few years ago, and I did not like that sweat feeling. I felt nasty. And then I noticed how sluggish. I just didn't like how it was going health-wise.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me try this since I don't like working out. And it worked.
Yes.
Second thing, after I got to doing it, because now I've been fasting permanently and consistently since about 2019, and I feel every single day. I don't skip a day. I don't have cheat days, and mine is only water. I don't do no juicing. Alkaline water, that's it. However, the second reason is because I noticed after like 6 months to a year, I was like, oh my God, I don't have stomach aches anymore. I have not had a stomach ache. If I'm lying, I have not had a stomach ache in years.
Wow.
Years. And I think and I used to have chronic stomach issues. I started fasting for 18 to 22 hours every day, and sometimes one day a week I fast for 24 hours to give my body a reset.
Yes.
And I cannot tell you the last time I can overeat and I still will not have a stomach ache.
I love that.
Beautiful. I think for me, it was not a joke, but me and my friend was like, man, we should fast, and we just cold turkey fast for 12 days. And then the second time I did it, I was like, yo, spiritual journey, trying to find out what's up, and just like, yo, what is God? What everybody keeps saying that, you know, all religions, like if you fast, you find God. And I did it for a spiritual journey, but also for the skin. Like I learned, like I stopped snoring.
Oh, I love that for
Yeah,
you.
the skin, my skin cleared up. A lot of you know, stillness, and it just
Yeah.
it's just a good thing to add to your purpose, I think.
Fasting is such a vital tool
The water
that they
keeps
do
my
not
skin
share
glowing.
with
No,
us
they
enough.
don't.
You know, like they like tell you you're supposed to eat these 3 or 6 meals. Everybody talks about how much you should be eating a day, but they never talk about refraining the body and just giving it a chance to actually digest all this
Giving
happening.
it a chance to eat up. We have day to day, we have so much leftover glucose sitting in our stomachs. You have to give your body time to eat that excess stuff,
Yeah.
or guess what it turns into? Stubborn fat that you can't get rid of.
You said something else earlier that was really important to me, and I wanted us to talk about that too. You said that people have to know that life is just not perfect. And that's been another thing for me. Right now in this episode,
it
we're
never
talking about
will
so
be.
many fucking things that are in my
Yeah.
life right now. And so I feel so like strong about this conversation.
It's
I'm like,
resonating.
it's resonated so much
Yes.
coming up. But how does one begin to accept that life is just not fucking perfect? It's just not real. You will have bad days. Bad stuff will happen. You will
One
not
day
get everything that you want all the time.
One thing I can definitely say what made me be like, hey, it's gonna be some good days, it's gonna be some bad days. It's like every single time that I had the bad days, and I was just like, nah, like I'ma fight, like I'ma just fight through it, because it's
Yeah.
like in spirituality, you always learn, like once you learn to like actually take a step back in those bad times and learn the lessons from them, each and every time those like hard times is not going to be so bad.
Yes.
So I was just like,
get
all right, I'm
easier.
I was just like,
Yes.
all right, I'm gonna enjoy the fuck out of the good times.
Yes.
And then when the bad times come, I'm gonna do my best to like, to fight through
Absolutely.
it and learn my lessons and everything.
I dance in it, like the cliche, like, oh, don't wait for the storm to be over, dance in the rain. Let me tell you something.
take shit hard.
Not me, and I'm gonna
can't
tell you
dance.
what I used to, but I want to say I'm around like 19. Listen, I had a math teacher, and listen, he said this to me, and I put it to everything in my life. I've always been horrible at math, and I was having a hard time, and he said, you know why you having a hard time? And I said, why? He said, because you so busy trying to understand math instead of just taking math for what it is. I passed this class with an A. I carried that for the rest of my life. And if I'm sick, okay, I'm sick. All right, you'll be better soon. But while you're sick, enjoy the fact that you're feeling sick and you know you'll get better. Enjoy the fact that you're human. Everyone experiences this. Be grateful that you're here to experience your being sick and you're
beautiful.
not gone. So I do that. I literally train my mind to find the beauty. When I can't pay my bills, I'm like, but you know what? I'm going to figure it out. Enjoy the fact that you know you're going to figure it out. And guess what the freak I do? I figure it out.
I'm like a 15-minute stalker, and then I get to your space.
Yes.
Like Sometimes the 15 minutes can go for like 3 days. Not gonna lie. Sometimes it can go for
As
a
it
little while.
should.
But I always kick it in. You know, I'm always like, oh fuck this bullshit. Life can be worse. Things will get better.
So for me, a lot of people won't be able to handle what I'm about to say, but I still think everything is perfect. Whatever I went through today, whether it was bad or good, I'm still at the end of the day, 15 years, 20 years, I'm gonna laugh about it and be like, yo,
That's
I
so
remember
beautiful.
that space. Everything is in your life with ups or downs. It's just perfect.
And it's so funny you said that because I just recently learned how to like get in touch with my emotions for real. And I learned how to find the joy in crying. Like, and it's so weird to say that, but it's like now that it's like whenever I have a chance to cry, I'm bawling.
Yes.
I'm a
Like,
crier. I
that's
don't give a
just how
fuck.
it is.
Because of what it
I do too.
represents.
I've been crying my whole life. I don't care.
But yo, that was amazing, y'all.
Yes.
And yo, Eric, I want to give you your flowers. You're doing a lot in our
Thank you.
community. If they don't know about you, they will. You're a powerful person. I look up to you. I don't know
Thank
if
you.
you know
Vice versa.
but eventually, I'm gonna look up to everybody. She's an animal. At what
I
she
love it though.
does.
Give her her
you.
flowers.
Yeah.
Because
Um,
I'm just now being introduced to her, so I'm
Right.
happy that I'm.
You
finding
I
are-
out
love
who you are.
everybody here. This energy
And
is
I'm
awesome.
glad you're here, and I think I would love to see you here more, and let's figure this out. Cause you
I was just sitting here like, damn, these niggas need to produce my show. What the fuck?
That's-
If I
I
could
mean-
come here for 3 days straight and get 10 interviews
Right.
out, I think that we might have the new best show. Like,
I think so too.
yeah.
Everybody say their name and where everybody can reach you at.
So I'm Counselor Charlie again. That's without an E. That means end at the I. You can find me on Instagram at Counselor Charlie. You can find me on TikTok at Counselor Charlie7. And remember, no E, only the I.
Yes. Let me hear it, Miss Ganja.
You can follow me at Ganjagawdess. That is Ganjagawdess on Instagram.
Yeah.
And y'all already know this is your favorite mindset coach and lifestyle strategist, Effortlessly Erika. And it's the same everywhere. So follow me so you can stay in touch.
Period.
And my name is Justin De Guz. You can find me at Emperor Goose
Yes.
and I am your creative community architect.
Yes.
We're just talking, y'all.
We just talking.
This was a great conversation. We
was
talked the
great.
fuck out of this.
Yes, we did.